Hello and welcome back to the show. It is time once again for another episode of the Culture Update, and I am your host, Vanna J. And we are a day late, but I promise you, we're not a dollar short. We got all the good stuff for you. That is right. We got your culture update, everything that's been going on, that's been happening over the past week or so, and pretty much just going to update you on what's been happening. So if you're joining us right now, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you drop us your comments throughout the show and let us know what you think about the content, because we have a lot going on and the world continues to turn and Black people continue to be affected by what happens in the world. So we're going to start today's show off with something that is affecting a large group of Black folks, and that is our Haitian friends over in Texas right now that are Haitian migrants at the border. There's roughly now 15,000 of them there. And I'm going to play this quick video just to give you kind of a rundown of what's happening, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side. So check out this video talking about these Haitian immigrants real quick.
Seeing this morning show a dire situation unfolding in a small town along the U.S. The mayor there help as a surge of family.
Okay, I'm not really sure if you heard any of that. That was totally not audio working on my end. However, at least you got to see the images. And even though you couldn't hear what they were saying, I will give you the rundown of the story. Basically, they're saying that these migrants who had previously already migrated from Haiti to Mexico have been going back and forth between the United States and Mexico. They're basically at the border there, and they're taking refuge and taking camp underneath a bridge in order to stay cool because of the extreme hot conditions there. They pretty much, as you could see in those images, have just been arriving in droves. They've set up camp. There's unsanitary conditions. It's pretty much just a hot mess, and there's really nothing that they can do but wait to be detained by U.S. Border Patrol. And that's pretty much all they're doing, is just waiting to be detained. And that's really sad, and it's really unfortunate. And there's a lot of kind of blaming going on and finger pointing. But this is a huge issue. I mean, think about this on the effect of the culture as a whole. I mean, we have coronavirus going on right now. I know that, there's nothing being done about whether or not these people are going to be tested or be forced or not to get the vaccine if they're coming here or this or that. There's no questions being answered for these things. And then also the rough conditions in which they're living. They're just pretty much taking anything that they can get their hands on and forming camp, whether that be, bamboo sticks, plastics, blankets, sheets, just pretty much anything that they can do in order to form camps. And as you can see in the photo, how they crossed over the water there, just like a knee deep worth of water that they walked through to get across, and boom, here they all are. And now they are Texas's problem to deal with, as well as the rest of the United States. So it's definitely an issue. There's a lot of questions as to what is going to be done about these people in this situation. Obviously, Biden's kind of at the head of this whole situation at this point, even though obviously it didn't start with Biden. It's definitely coming to a head right now with him and being in the White House. So we will see what the response will be. I know that he's been put in kind of a tough position because of some of the situations the previous president has put him in, signing certain things to make it almost nearly impossible to do certain things to help these people out. However, there is that, what they call a golden stroke of the pen or what have you, where he could really get something done if he really wanted to get something done. So I think that is my point of all this is why are we not doing more to work this situation out to make it better for everyone? It's just a horrendous situation, and you would think that people with all the resources and all of the money and all of the just wherewithal to do something about this would have feet and hands on the ground working it out. I mean, they literally have more journalists and cameras covering these people and out there at these grounds than they do people actually aiding and helping them. At one point, they said that there were only 12 outhouse restrooms for over 12,000 people. And it's just horrible. So let me know what you think about this situation. How does this affect the greater Black community as a whole? How does this affect the Texas Black community? I mean, if you can think about, Texas is already going through the works. They've already had huge issues with numbers of COVID. You already heard about the blasphemous abortion issue that they're having, not to mention the voting rights, and it goes on and on and on in Texas. And now this huge immigration issue, and it's just another hole in the head, so to speak, that Texas really did not need. So, how is this going to affect the larger community at whole and at large? And, what is being done about this situation, and what should we be doing about this situation? So let me know your thoughts. Let's discuss this issue, drop your comments, and I would love to hear from you and tell me what you think about this, because it really is a serious situation. All right, it's time to get to my favorite part of the show, the funnest part, which is the entertainment news. And we got some good entertainment news for you, because just recently we had the VMA Awards. And for those of you who have been under a rock for the past, I don't even know how many years, the VMA stands for the Video Music Awards. And that is the time when the hottest of music and celebrities and all of those good people come together to celebrate music and the music videos of our time. And if you are anywhere near me, close to my age, around, born in, anywhere from the late 80s before, then you probably, if you were watching the VMAs this year, were much like me and asking who people were, who, when they announced names or when they were saying someone was performing, I'm like, who is that? I don't know, apparently I'm getting too old, but there were some performers that I definitely recognized, and I could definitely see the talent there. So we're going to get to those hot acts, and these are mostly performance acts. So if you're looking to see who won what, I'm not bringing that to you. We're getting to the dirt of it. We're talking about the performers. So let's talk about the first one, Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X was had his performance at the VMAs for his hot new single. He just dropped his latest album, Montero, that just came out this past week. Lil Nas X is rising, grinding, and shining right now. As much as people hate him, love him, whatever you feel about Lil Nas X, at the end of the day, you cannot knock this man's money-making ability and hustle. And I appreciated his VMA performance. I thought it was well done. As you can see, he kept with his same hot pink theme from the music video. He did keep with the same prison theme. It was not as wild as the music video was. However, as you can tell from that photo, he kept with the sexuality and the LGBT theme, which I appreciated. Jack Harlow also came out and performed with him as well, and I thought that that was really cool. It's very rare that you see men in these types of situations, whether they're gay or not. It's very rare, and it's becoming more and more prevalent that you see men in a, I don't know what you want to call that, scantily dressed, or like not wearing very many clothes. Like, it's not very often that you see that. So I'm so glad that like people are starting to do that more and more. Let's sexualize these men a little bit more. We do it so much to the women. It's like, where's our turn? Like, let's see it, bring it out. So that's what I loved about it. That's why I like Lil Nas X. I appreciate it for what it is. And I just thought he had a great performance, and it was definitely the male performer of the night was definitely Lil Nas X, in my opinion. Tell me what you think about it if you caught that performance. Also, a huge performance of the night was my girl Normani. She threw it down, and take a look at these outfits. I'm telling you, she brought back that feel, the vibe from the 90s, that whole Mace P. Diddy with the metallic, you know what I'm talking about, the Missy Elliott look, you know what I'm talking about. I love that. I love that she's able to kind of bring that back and revive that whole era, because that was a fun time in the new millennium. And I really thought her performance was hot. I love her song. And I really thought that she is really trying to make a name for herself, so to speak, in this game. And she has been for a little while now, but she's doing a really good job. And one little tidbit about her performance was towards the very end, when she pulled Tiana out on stage and gave her a seductive lap dance. It was unexpected, and I'm gonna need y'all to chime in on this for me. Please let me know what's happening with Tiana. Last I heard, she had just gotten like married and like had a baby, and then all of a sudden now, what is she like? Is she like lesbianist, bi curious? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's up with Tiana. But yeah, I mean, I did think that Tiana swung that way back in the day, but then when she popped up married with a baby, I was like, okay, maybe she just, she had a little wild side and that's it. But no, apparently she back doing the most again with Normani at the end of this performance, and it was a hot show. So make sure if you guys did not check out the performance, you go check it out, because it's definitely worth the watch. But you guys, the final and the hottest act of the night, hands down, and I saw literally everyone talking about it on Twitter. It was my girl Chloe. You know her maybe as Chloe Bailey, but she is springing off into her solo career apart from her sister. And boy, she is going at it in a large way. This girl took the stage and commanded complete and total presence. Her voice was banging, her body was banging. She had it all going on, and she put it all out there. I'm telling you, she was doing more than I've seen her do, I think, ever, as far as dancing, singing, sexuality, everything. She really proved herself as a true competitor performer that can be put up there in the lineup of performers. Really, she did. And I appreciated it. I thought it was a hot performance. I was shocked by the performance. We always have to realize that these shows are going to be very sexualized. So, I kind of try to keep that in mind. But coming from her, this definitely, I think, turned a page for a lot of people. Like, okay, Chloe, we see you. And I don't want to upset the Beehive, but dare I say, her singing voice is on fire. I won't complete that sentence, but dare I say, Beehive, watch out, because your girl Chloe, she coming for your girl Bay. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. The girl Chloe, she killed it. She killed it. She absolutely killed it. So let me know what you think. What were your favorite, hottest performances of the VMA night? What did you pick up on? What did you notice? What did you see? Hit me up in the comment section. I would love to hear your opinion about the VMAs and how you felt about that. It was just a great night, and I'm glad that I was able to catch that show, because I definitely thought it was a very good show. All right, moving on to our next entertainment story. You guys, we have been waiting on this, and now I am curious to know what you guys think about this. Finally, they have announced a Proud Family reboot, and they are going to be basically lining up a star-studded cast for this situation. You see them there, right there on the screen. We got Lizzo, we got Lil Nas X. I mean, literally the list is so long. They got Normani, they got Chance the Rapper, and it goes on and on and on. And, you know, there are two things that we can say about this star-studded cast. First of all, it's the Proud Family. So if you remember the Proud Family from back in the day, it's the cartoon, the Black Family cartoon. We all know what it is. And we've been waiting on this. We figured, we knew, we were pushing for them to redo the Proud Family because it's one of the most classic childhood from our age group Black cartoon shows. So when they announced this, it was shocking to see the star-studded cast that they revealed. So once again, Lizzo, Lil Nas X, Chance the Rapper, Normani. They have Tiffany Haddish, Gabrielle Union, Leslie Odom Jr., Anthony Anderson, Al Roker, Jane Lynch, James Pickens Jr. I mean, Jaden Smith, Brenda Song. The list goes on and on. Tina Knowles, Eva Longoria, Debbie Allen. I mean, Gabby Douglas. I mean, the list just continues. So two things come to my mind. For one, I'm like, okay, I'm happy. I'm excited for this. I'm glad that they have a huge ethnic cast, a mostly Black cast. It's wonderful. And then I had to kind of take a pause and be like, but is this really great? Because why are we still putting on these same 25 Black people of all time? Like, how come we can't dip a few people new? How come we can't come up with some new voice actors? How come we can't give more Black people a chance to get put on and shine, and some up and coming people to get their recognition? So I guess, I don't know, tell me what you feel. Maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe I don't know. I just felt like maybe they could have given some other Black people a chance and not just the same already rich, already famous, multiple already rich, already famous Black people. But either way it goes, I am glad that they decided to go with this all Black cast, or for the most part Black cast. Obviously there are some Mexicans and stuff in the show, so you know that's where the Eva Longorias and things like that come in. But it fits really well, and I think it will be good overall. I do think that this is going to be a really good reboot. I think also too it will the whether or not it turns out good will be based on the animation as well. So I'll be curious to see how the animation turns out. But be on the lookout for this. The Proud Family reboot. I believe they're going to call it Louder and Prouder. It's coming out in 2022. So just be on the lookout for that and get ready. And I believe that's going to be out on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, you'll be able to check that out. All right, final story of the night, of the day. We're going to talk about the activists. Now, if you remember from the last Culture Update show, I brought you the story about a show called The Activists, and we discussed it. You guys chimed in on my comments, and we talked about how it was pretty much not a great idea for them to be putting out a show where they're basically asking activists to compete against each other in order to, I don't know, I guess not really win money, but win, I guess, recognition for their cause or what they're trying to do. And so I gave you the background on it. We talked about it. A lot of people reached out to me and said it sounded a lot like The Apprentice, which I agreed with. A lot of people said that this just doesn't seem like they are thinking things through. Like, this isn't really a good idea to have a show where activists who are good people who are trying to make real change in the world have to compete against one another and say, my change that I'm trying to create is better than your change that you're trying to create. So after I brought you that story, less than a few days later, it is official. The Activist has been pulled as a competition show. And let me just read you this little update on it. It says, within hours of the show being announced, it came under fire. It came under fire. And in addition to people calling the producers of the show tone deaf, it also didn't help that Julianne Hough, which is one of the actresses you see listed there, she was set to be one of the judges. She was signed on to the show. Well, she had previously faced backlash for wearing blackface as part of a Halloween costume. So that also did not sit well with viewers, fans, what have you. According to CNN, CBS, along with production partners Global Citizen and Live Nation, said the activist was designed to show a wide audience the passion, long hours, and and ingenuity that activists put into changing the world, hopefully inspiring others to do the same. But it was definitely a tone deaf situation. They did not quite understand what they were doing and how that looked. So they have now pulled it, and they are saying that they're going to be reimagining the show. They are saying that now, instead of making it a competition, they are going to be listing it and showing it as a documentary. So this should be interesting, because I'm kind of wondering, with these three hosts, Usher, Julianne Hough, and the other girl, which I still apologize, do not know how to pronounce her name. I don't know how this is going to go for them. I don't know if this means that they're out of a job, if they're now going to become hosts of the documentary show. Who knows? I'm not sure that this will be popular, or even maybe even not even get off the ground as a documentary show. It just doesn't sound like it's a good idea. Once again, I will say, you could be putting all this money and all these efforts into hiring Usher and Julianne Hough and getting a production crew and show and advertising and marketing and everything you're doing. And you could donate that money to those same activists you're about to bring on your show and help them with their causes that way. Why are we exploiting people that are trying to do good and make money off of them and make it into entertainment? It's just, I mean, I understand the point of, if you see it, maybe you'll be inspired and try to do it yourself, but then do it for free. Then be a nonprofit. Then go out here and follow them around with a camera for free. Don't do it for money-making purposes, entertainment purposes. Don't get a star-studded, judge cast to help you. It's just tone deaf, unnecessary, and ridiculous. And it's unfortunate because, I do have to say, I have been a fan of Usher for a very long time, but it's unfortunate to see Usher take these types of jobs and deals. Like, come on, Usher, you should know better. And let me just also say this, as we're talking about Usher, just to put this out there. Usher's been under fire. Here where I'm located in Las Vegas, Usher has a residency where he lives and also does his concert. And during his concert, Usher decided he wanted to throw out Usher dollars, which are basically a dollar bill with Usher's face on it. It's fake money. And he has caused so much controversy here in Vegas because of that, because of the Usher bucks that he was throwing out at his concerts. People were picking them up. They look like real dollar bills, minus the fact that obviously they're fake and they have Usher on them. And they were taking them into shops and strip places here on the strip in Vegas and trying to spend Usher money, and he caused a frenzy doing that. And now here we are again, just not even a month later, and Usher back in the news for another frenzy over this activist show. So looking like not good for Usher, looking a little tone deaf for Usher. Maybe Usher needs to take a step back, because this is definitely not the look for him. And it's unfortunate, because I know Usher ultimately is usually a great guy, but it's just like, come on, man, you got to be smart. You got to think smarter than this. You're Usher. Come on, you can do better than this, Usher. I believe you're ultimately for the Black people at the end all be of the day. So come on. So tell me what you think. I want to hear your opinions, thoughts. What do you think about this situation? Drop me some comments. Will you be tuning in to the activists as a documentary? The only way I'm tuning in is to talk mess. The only way I'm tuning in is to see what it's about and to critique it. So that's my opinion on that. I don't think I'm going to be tuning in to see what the hot new activism stream's going on right now. It's like, no, there's so many other things we could be getting ourselves involved in. We could actually be helping out the activists in a real way other than just watching them. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Drop me some comments on this subject, and we'll definitely get your comments in there. Also, if you have a certain story or a specific topic that you want me to cover on the culture update, if you heard of something going on with the culture and you're like, hey, what's happening? Vanna, I need you to go in on this, investigate, see what's going on, research, see what you can find out. I'm more than happy to do that for you. Hit me up, hit us up in the comments, DM us, whatever you have to do, and we'll definitely try to get your stories on the culture update. That is all for today's show. I want to thank you all so much for joining in with me today. And listen, make sure you all hit that subscribe button. The culture creators have a ton of great content that they upload all the time. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on the Culture Creators channel. All right, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will catch you all again next week for another edition of the Culture Update. Have a great day. Bye-bye.